In Hollywood, power couples rise and fall, but few stories have captivated the world like that of Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. They were royalty, stunning, talented, and untouchable. Together, they formed one of the most talked-about duos in entertainment history. But now, the spotlight turns to a new question. Without each other, who truly comes out on top? In fame, in fortune, in power. Let's dive into their stories, from humble beginnings to international superstardom. And by the end of this video, you'll have a clear answer to who really rules the empire they once built together. Let's begin. Brad Pitt was born in 1963 in Shawnee, Oklahoma. A small-town boy with Midwestern charm, he made his way to Los Angeles with nothing but ambition. His breakout moment? A cowboy hat, a seductive smile, and a brief role in Thelma and Louise in 1991. That 5-minute appearance ignited a career that would define male stardom for decades. Angelina Jolie, born in 1975, came from Hollywood lineage. The daughter of actor Jon Voight, she was no stranger to the spotlight. But she carved her own path, fierce, fearless, and unapologetically unique. Her raw performance in Girl Interrupted earned her an Oscar at just 24. She wasn't just a beautiful actress. She was a force. From the start, both Brad and Angelina stood out. But their trajectories were completely different. Brad was the golden boy of mainstream Hollywood, clean-cut, bankable. Angelina was the edgy outsider, mysterious, intense, unpredictable. And that contrast would later become part of their collective appeal. Brad Pitt became a fixture of the 90s and early 2000s. He was the leading man in films like Legends of the Fall, Seven, Fight Club, and Troy. His face was everywhere. But he wasn't just a heartthrob. He chose bold, genre-defining roles that made critics pay attention. He worked with auteurs like David Fincher, Quentin Tarantino, and the Coen brothers. He didn't just chase blockbuster success. He chased artistic credibility. And he got it. Angelina Jolie, on the other hand, carved a different path. While Brad was conquering the romantic drama and psychological thriller spaces, Angelina became an action icon with Lara Croft. She wasn't just playing female leads. She was redefining them. Strong, independent, dangerous. Later, she delivered haunting performances in A Mighty Heart, Changeling, and Maleficent, proving she could anchor both art films and billion-dollar franchises. By the time they met on the set of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, they were already titans, each with massive fame and undeniable screen presence. And then, the world exploded. Mr. and Mrs. Smith wasn't just a movie. It was the birth of an empire. The chemistry between Brad and Angelina was electric, both on and off the screen. The tabloids erupted. Brad had just separated from Jennifer Aniston, and suddenly, all eyes were on this new power duo. Brangelina was born. They adopted children from Cambodia, Ethiopia, and Vietnam. They had biological children together. They traveled the world. They weren't just actors anymore. They were global icons. Every appearance, every interview, every red carpet look was analyzed, adored, and debated. At the height of their power, they were more than celebrities. They were a brand. Together, they earned hundreds of millions. They starred in high-grossing films, produced critically acclaimed projects, and bought properties around the world, from a French vineyard to a massive estate in Los Angeles. But behind the glamorous facade, cracks were forming. In 2016, Angelina Jolie filed for divorce. The world was stunned. Allegations surfaced, custody battles, accusations of abuse, public statements and sealed documents. The fairy tale was over, and the media turned their once idyllic image into a war zone. Suddenly, fans took sides, Team Brad, Team Angelina. But beyond the drama, the split revealed something else: their independence. Without the Brangelina brand, each had to stand alone again. And that's when the real comparison began. Who thrived post-divorce? Who stumbled? And who holds the crown today? Let's break it down. At their peak, both Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie were commanding salaries of $15 to $30 million per film. They co-owned Chateau Miraval, a winery in France worth an estimated $160 million. But their individual fortunes tell different stories. As of 2025, Brad Pitt's estimated net worth sits around $400 million. Much of that comes not only from acting, but from his production company, Plan B Entertainment. Plan B has produced hits like 12 Years a Slave, Moonlight, and The Big Short, all Oscar winners or nominees. Brad isn't just an actor, he's a smart businessman. Angelina Jolie's net worth is estimated at $120 to $150 million. While that's still enormous, the gap is clear. She's focused more on directing, activism, and motherhood in recent years, stepping back from the Hollywood machine. Her directorial efforts, like First They Killed My Father and Unbroken, were critically respected, but they didn't bring in the same kind of commercial success. When it comes to raw wealth, Brad Pitt wins by a significant margin. Fame. This one's trickier. Brad Pitt remains a household name, regularly appearing in major films like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and Bullet Train. He's visible, present, still the suave, charismatic star the public fell in love with. But Angelina Jolie? She transcends Hollywood. Her work with the United Nations, her humanitarian missions, and her global presence make her famous in circles far beyond entertainment. In refugee camps in Syria, in political forums, in university lectures. If fame means being known, then Angelina might edge out Brad on a global scale. She's not just a movie star, she's a symbol. But fame fades without visibility, and in recent years, Angelina has taken a quieter path. Brad, meanwhile, continues to headline movies and award shows. So, who wins in fame? It's a draw, but for different reasons. Brad is still the Hollywood star. Angelina is the global activist icon. Power in Hollywood isn't just about money or fame. It's about influence. Brad Pitt has built deep connections in the industry. Directors want to work with him. Studios trust him. His company Plan B can greenlight Oscar-caliber films. He's become a kingmaker behind the scenes. Angelina, on the other hand, has wielded her power differently. As a special envoy for the UNHCR, she's spoken before the UN, lobbied world leaders, and visited war-torn countries to shine light on humanitarian crises. Her influence extends into diplomacy, policy, and human rights. So, who has more power? In Hollywood, Brad. In global affairs, Angelina. It depends on the battlefield you choose. Brad has fought battles with addiction and personal demons, especially in the aftermath of the divorce. He's been open about going to therapy, quitting alcohol, and trying to rebuild himself. That vulnerability has earned him public sympathy and praise. Angelina has also faced intense challenges, from a double mastectomy to highly publicized family rifts. Yet she's remained poised, mysterious, and often distant in public. Their images have evolved. Brad, once the untouchable heartthrob, is now the weathered survivor. Angelina, once the rebellious femme fatale, is now the reserved humanitarian. And the public? It remains divided, fascinated by both, but emotionally pulled in different directions. This is where Angelina shines. Her humanitarian work is not a PR stunt. It's been a 2-decade mission. She's donated millions, adopted children from war-torn countries, and spent time in some of the most dangerous places on Earth. Brad's philanthropy has been notable too. He co-founded the Make It Right Foundation, helping to rebuild New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina. But the scope and longevity of Angelina's work place her in a different league. She has used her platform to elevate voices the world ignores. That kind of impact is rare, even among celebrities. As of 2025, both Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie continue to shape the world, just in different ways. Brad is thriving in film, both in front of and behind the camera. He's expanding his production empire and starring in critically acclaimed roles. Angelina is focused on global change, raising her children, and occasionally returning to film. Her influence, though less visible, runs deep. Financially, Brad wins. In global influence, Angelina wins. In Hollywood relevance, Brad has the edge. In moral impact and legacy, Angelina leaves a mark few can match. So who wins overall? Maybe the answer isn't as simple as picking one over the other. Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie aren't just former lovers or co-stars. They are two of the most powerful figures of their generation, forged by fame, tested by scandal, and defined by reinvention. One became a mogul, the other, a mission. One chased perfection on the screen. The other chased justice in the world. In the end, the true winner depends on what you value most. Wealth? Brad. Influence? Angelina. Stardom? Both. But maybe the real story isn't about who wins. It's about how they both refuse to lose.